Sucker!
You're listening to the Hall of Fame. Here's Booker T and Brad Gilmore.
I've seen it in the chat.
I haven't heard it.
Well, one of the subject matters that we bring up quite frequently on the show, Mr. CM Punk. He was at an interesting place.
He's back.
Well, CM Punk was, as of the taping of this show, was backstage at Monday Night Raw and saw several of the boys and even had a conversation with Triple H and then said some goodbyes to some of the guys and left the show. The first time he's been at a WWE event since January of 2014, nearly a decade, and hadn't seen Triple H since then. I have no idea if this means anything, but people online are freaking out that CM Punk was at Monday Night Raw. What do you think about that? Is that like a negotiating tactic that he's throwing out there, or do you think he just wanted to come say hi to some people?
It wasn't that he just wanted to come say hi to people. I've been mend fences or anyway. Me personally, I don't know. That could just be rumor. Be honest.
No, it happened.
Women, did somebody see some photos? They got photos?
I mean, the several people who were backstage reported it. And
did somebody take a picture of CM Punk?
I don't know.
Did anybody post it?
I don't know. I'll find
out.
out.
I see something like that. I'm not going to even believe that story. Okay, just because, me personally, I know they're in Chicago, right? Yeah,
they're in Chicago.
Yeah.
And wait, here's an update to the story too, is that we were told by the same source that reported that CM Punk was backstage at Raw that Vince McMahon made a call and asked that he leave the venue. And that when he was asked, Punk immediately said his goodbyes and left the building.
You know what? That's a story I could believe a lot better.
Why is that?
Bro, didn't I just tell you a second ago that first story I just couldn't believe?
Yes.
And it was unbelievable.
But it happened. He was there.
Well, he may have
spoke to Triple H, spoke to some of the boys.
You know what? That might be true. But like I say, the latter part I can totally see as well.
So what do you think his motivation was going up there? Just to say hi then?
CM Punk isn't the type just to want to go say hi.
I agree. Seems out of character for him.
Yeah. That's just not the way I see that. You know what I mean?
Well, I think we asked some people in the chat. What do they think? What do they think the reason?
We got to take a break. We got to take a break. Let's see exactly what's going on. Let's unpack this thing because I told you my views on it. You got an update. You know, you talking like everybody's buddy.
Apparently, there's a video out there.
It's what?
Apparently, there's a video. So
video of him getting kicked out the building. Stick around. You're in the Hall of Fame. We'll be back in a minute. Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame. I did it again. Oh, man. We're talking CM Punk made an appearance backstage in Chicago, Illinois. Monday Night Raw is going on tonight. And by report, he was asked to vacate the building. And I don't know if the story is true, but if the story is accurately accounted the way Brad just laid it out, I can believe that. Him showing up there, you asked that question a second ago. What's behind that? What does that mean? I don't know, man. Over the last 7 years, CM Punk has disparaged WWE in so many different ways. It's not even funny. Okay,
right?
So many different ways. I remember. Let me tell you. This is why I say I can believe the latter part. I remember when I first got into business. The wrestling business. This guy, I'm not going to even mention his name, not even important.
Okay.
But he tried to get me blackballed from the business before I even got started. And I was just a kid trying to get in the business, but I was a kid that wasn't willing to just eat crow and just bow down to people ever. I just never been that guy. He tried to get me blackballed. And I found out about it later and, here nor there, whatnot. But I remember when I became the world heavyweight champion. We had a show at the Summit, which is now Lakewood Church.
Right, in Houston,
Texas. And I saw this guy in the building. You know what I did? I told security to bounce his ass out of there. Okay? And you know what security did?
They bounced him up out of there.
Bounced him right up out of there. Because that's the way I really felt about that guy. And I'm sure after everything CM Punk has said about this company, a lot of people probably feel that way about him.
So I agree with everything that you said. regarding that. Yeah, I'm sure people aren't, the most excited to see him. My question is, so people say there's a video. I looked at the video. It's not. There's no there. He's just standing in the parking lot. Like I didn't see anything of note in the video. There's no video of him actually backstage, from what I can tell. But those WWE shows, you got to know. You got
Do
to
you remember the first promo?
From when he joined AEW.
Yes.
Well, he said something that he hasn't wrestled professionally in since Ring of Honor, right? And then he disparaged WWE and talked about the other place a lot. I do remember.
And I was wrong for saying, "Hey, man, that you shouldn't even had to go that route." Because why I said that?
Why?
Because one day WWE may have been in Chicago and he wanted to show up. No, I'm serious.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying.
And I say that because it was years I was out of WWE. Years when I left that company. You're not going to find any promos. You're not going to find any disparaging words because it's a bridge that I may want to cross back over one day. Why burn bridges when you don't
need to? I mean, I don't disagree with you.
Burn them, but take a C4 to them.
Here's the report from Fightful.com, who I guess broke the story.
Give me the summary.
So here we go. CM Punk was backstage at the WWE Raw in Chicago, according to Talent. PW Insider reported that CM Punk was briefly backstage at April 24th Monday Night Raw. Those that we spoke to said that they got eyes speaking to Talent, including The Miz, who he's had crosswords with on Twitter in the past. He was also seen briefly speaking with Triple H. Several talent had been told CM Punk was asked to leave by Jim Kelly, WWE's head of security.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Numerous wrestlers in WWE believe the move was a publicity stunt for his AEW return soon.
Probably.
Those that we spoke to said Punk left without incident. There were also several AEW talent in disbelief that when they heard CM Punk was backstage at Monday Night Raw. We asked WWE in an official capacity about the situation, but we're told they don't have any info as of yet.
They shouldn't. I mean, it shouldn't even be speaked upon. That's something that him and Tony Khan should be talking about. Why was he at a WWE show? And was it some kind of, Ultimate Warrior, moment? I'm serious. It's ridiculous. You know what I never really said, man, but this dude's ridiculous, man. If that really happened, he's ridiculous.
If you're saying if it happened just for him to do a publicity stunt?
It's like getting clickbait. It's like, a lot of these Republicans saying stuff just so it can be seen on Twitter.
Yeah.
And this, like I say, this dude's 40, almost 50 years old. And I know he might be, this might be his Brian, Pillman moment, where I'm going to work the companies against each other. That type of stuff. I almost said something
like, else. But how do you get in the show without being invited in?
Well, if you're a wrestler, you could walk right in the building normally, I mean,
like if you're a known guy.
Yeah, they may think he's there, for a meeting.
Right. They don't, the security guys or whatever. They don't know.
That's like me.
They recognize him. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like me showing up to a AEW show. I mean, I'm sure that's Booker T. You know what I mean? Let him in. I'm sure. They may not now because I talked about it, but I'm just saying. Normally, most wrestling shows, I don't have a problem just walking in because of who I am.
So you're saying the same for CM Punk?
They may have thought he had re-signed with the company. You never know. So it may be true as far as him doing that, but I'm just saying if he did it just to get thrown out the building, just go to show you that's a character flaw, man.
That would be strange if the only reason was to show up, grab some attention, and get kicked out. That'd be weird. I think it's all weird. I think everything with CM Punk is weird.
I don't. I'm gonna tell you, him showing up unexpectedly at a show in Chicago. I don't think it was wise. First of all, and I don't think he should have thought it was going to be a pleasant greeting. He could have gotten into a fight.
The motivations here, I can't figure out. I'm sitting thinking about it. I don't understand what the reason was. Because if he just wanted to say hello, that just seems very odd. That seems like a very odd call. If you just want to say hello, the show's going to be done at 10 o'clock. Tell the boys to come meet you at the bar. right? If you just want to say
Wait
see
a minute.
some of them,
Which boys?
anyone he wanted to say hello
He
to.
alienated himself from all of the guys there, even his friends.
Yeah,
He literally blocked everybody. So
right.
so I don't know who he could have been coming to say hello to. The seamstress? Maybe I'm
Well, let me
serious.
ask you: when you were signed to TNA, did you ever go to a WWE show,
Not once,
and why not?
because I didn't work there, and no one called me and invited me to say, "Hey, Book, why don't you come to the show tonight?" I remember when I re-signed to WWE when I went back after leaving TNA. Michael Cole, he asked me that exact question. He go, "Book, why you never came to a show? Why you wasn't work? Why you wasn't here anyway?" I said, "Man, I didn't work there. Why would I come to a show? I got other stuff I'm trying to. I had bills. I still had bills to pay. I still had other. I didn't want to show disloyalty to TNA."
Well, so let me ask you this: do you think that Punk showing up at WWE for whatever the reason is, do you think it was him showing disloyalty by doing that to AEW?
Well, after everything Punk has put AEW through, to now just have this in the news, if it's just news, wouldn't just be showing up for no reason, to say hi. It'd be, hey, hi, can I talk to somebody about getting back in? I would imagine, so now you got to go back and talk to Tony Khan if you planning on doing this Chicago show and they plan on building this show around you and all that news that you was telling me about last week.
Yeah.
If all that is true, it's like, what are we doing here? Is it really all about the bag?
Right, because that's what Punk said at one point. I think is what you're referencing.
So I'm just saying.
It would take a big bag to get me to
That's all,
WWE.
is it all about that? If that's what it's all about, let's move on, because that's what.
But what would that mean for people calling it a publicity stunt? I guess that it is in some respects, but what is there to gain from it? Because if this rumored AEW Chicago show, it's not till June. We're in the end of or into middle of July. I mean of April, excuse me. I mean that's a sort of a long way away. It's not like CM Punk's left the news by any stretch of the imagination. What would be the publicity stunt? Like what would it be promoting? Himself?
Well, maybe it wasn't a publicity stunt. Maybe
Yeah.
maybe all of it is true, as far as him trying to talk to someone. Maybe him showing up at the building. I mean, if he showed up for a reason. He didn't
Right.
just show up for no. He didn't just show up for no reason.
Right.
Now, if he got kicked out of the building, he obviously didn't have a meeting with anybody.
Right.
Okay, those two don't go together.
Can you imagine though?
You don't show up for a meeting and then get kicked out of the
Kicked out.
building. So I don't know. You got make me understand here. Maybe you can make me understand.
I don't know, to be honest with you, the exact reason here, but what I am curious about is just seeing if he wasn't invited and Triple H is here trying to put on a show. Triple H turns the corner out of catering, walks in the hall, and sees the Miz talking to CM Punk. I would have loved to have seen Triple H's reaction, because one of the people who've been disparaged the most by Mr. Phil CM Punk Brooks has been Triple H. He disparaged Triple H in that podcast he did with Colt Cabana, both of them. So I would have liked to see Triple H's reaction to that. I'm just curious. To be a fly in the wall for that moment would have been interesting.
Hey man,
in my opinion.
That is, man. Hey, we got to talk more about this. Stick around, guys. You're in the Hall of Fame. So we got a lot of super chatters. We'll be back in a moment. Shoop. Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame, man. We talking about CM Punk showing up at the building almost like a WCW, WWE moment back in the day. Coming in, on the army truck, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The hat, you know what I mean? Let me in. One of those type of deals, man. Oh, it's crazy, dog. What are we saying in the chat, man, about this, man? What are we saying?
Let me go pull up the chat right now and see what the people are commenting on regards to Phil CM Punk Brooks. Callie Toenail says that he was trying to sign Drew McIntyre while he was here. Well, I don't know if that was the case. Bernard Cole says Punk probably trying to get back in the WWE. Maybe. I wonder if Mike Edwards says, I wonder if he crossed paths with Seth Rollins, who dissed him in a couple of interviews.
That's what I'm saying, man. That's what I'm saying. Certain guys you're gonna. What about Roman?
Well, yeah, well, Roman hadn't been on TV in a little bit.
I think if we run into Roman, what's gonna happen?
Loso Dolo says, did you see Dijak's tweets?
What did
Guy
Dijak
seems
say?
pissed.
Dijak
Let's see what Dijak said. Let me pull it up here.
Oh, Dijak, he gonna speak his mind, dog. Dijak looking for a fight.
Dijak says this on Twitter at Dijak WWE. You know who else was backstage at WWE Raw? A bunch of hardworking talent who bust their ass every week for your entertainment. Enjoy the show. Sounds like a huge one. Okay.
See what I'm saying? Some people gonna speak their mind, bro. And Dijak's one of them, man. He's very, very outspoken as far as calling out BS. I'm serious. And I, you know what? I like it. I like it a lot. Baron Corbin, he's another one that's very, very outspoken that, call out stuff like that. So, like I say, man, I'm very, very surprised, if it went down the way it's been reported. I'm very, very surprised that he would show up unannounced, unexpected entry from Chicago, Illinois. The infamous Phil CM Punk. Brooks, I almost
Brooks,
said.
there you go.
Start with a B, but it's Brooks. But yeah, I don't know, man. Any more comments?
Let's see. This is from Astro Knight 282. Says he always wants to promote himself, even in character, because that's his character. And then this is from that guy named Alex, who gave us a super chat. This guy named Alex says controversy creates cash. Punk at Raw plus disgruntlement equals talking all over social media.
Yeah, you know what it is, but it's not the kind of talk you really, really want. You know what I mean? Especially when you work for a company and now you gotta go back to work if you're gonna go back to work. Because I don't see this ending that great. I'm gonna just say that.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
the thing is too, this internet, social media world, a lot of people that, think just because you're getting talked about on social media, it's a good thing. Yeah. It's a lot of people that's getting talked about on social media right now that's out of a job. You dig it, sucker!
You are listening to the Hall of Fame. Here's Booker T and Brad Gilmore.